Roe v. Wade has been struck down. Fantastic news. Or is it? Many people, including some pro-lifers, aren't so sure. Because there's a claim that's repeated, loud and often, that making abortion illegal won't actually do any good. It won't reduce the number of abortions, it'll just drive them underground, put them back to the back streets. So abortions won't go down in number. All that will really happen is abortions will become incredibly dangerous. Women will die. It's ever so important we understand that this claim is a lie. It's designed to discourage pro-lifers from supporting and pursuing positive legislative change, such as the striking down of Roe v. Wade. And it's designed to demonise pro-lifers, to make them believe even themselves that they don't really care about the welfare of women. It's crucial that we understand that this is a lie and why it's a lie. Otherwise, we might well find ourselves fighting on the wrong side of legislative battles. So let's just work through this claim real quick to see how it doesn't stand up under scrutiny. The first part of the claim is abortion numbers won't go down. We're going to have exactly the same number of abortions, just this time they'll be illegal. The data doesn't back this up. In fact, the data we have tells precisely the opposite story. In Northern Ireland, a pro-life organisation made the claim that there are 100,000 people alive today directly because of the pro-life laws in Northern Ireland up until recently, as compared with the rest of the UK. This claim was contested and it went to the ASA, the Advertising Standards Authority. The ASA had to conclude upon investigation that the claim was justified. The evidence backed it up. 100,000 babies were not killed precisely because Northern Ireland had pro-life laws until recently. Here in GB, we've had abortion legalised for some 53, 54 years now. Before that, it's estimated there were 10 to 30,000 abortions each year in the 60s. Today, we have 10 times that amount. It stands to reason. You make something legal and it rockets in frequency. Make something illegal, sure, it does carry on to some degree illegally. That's true of almost anything that you make illegal, but at a far reduced rate. All the data shows us. If you legalise it, it rockets. You make it illegal, it plummets. So this first part of the claim is a lie, pure and simple. The data, the evidence, just simply doesn't back it up. What about the second part of the claim, that loads of women and girls are going to die as a result of abortion being pushed on to the back streets? When you look at the data over the last 100 years or so, you see that maternal mortality rates have actually been going down very quickly and steadily since about 1930. Nothing to do with the legalisation of abortion, which took place about 40, 50 years later, depending on the country. But actually it was simply to do with medical advancement, progress, such as penicillin, and better treatments of medical conditions during pregnancy and delivery. So the reason maternal mortality has been dropping is nothing to do with abortion being brought into the clinics and made legal, and it's everything to do with simple medical progress. There are exceptions to this positive trend of maternal mortality going down. In South Africa, after abortion was legalised in 1997, the maternal mortality went up because abortion is devastating for women's health. Conversely, if you look at Chile, Poland, Nicaragua, where abortion was made illegal or heavily restricted, again in the 90s, what do you see? Maternal mortality going down because abortion is devastating for women's health. I just want to point out one particular fallacy behind this idea that when abortion is legal, it's safe and rare. Of course, we know it's not rare. Abortion rates are sky high all around the world where it is legal, but neither is it safe. Here in the UK, we've had this so-called pills by post scheme going on, especially since the pandemic. Abortion pills being sent in the post and women self-administering their abortion on their own at home without any medical assessment or attention. Every month over the last year and a half, we've seen about 500 women having to go to hospital for treatment after a botched at-home abortion. And about half of those, 250 women, every month are having to have surgery to get body parts of babies taken out of their womb because the abortion is incomplete. Legal abortion isn't safe. It's not safe for the baby. Abortion is never safe for the baby, but neither is it safe for the mother. So we've got to see this lie for what it is. They were lying back then before Roe v. Wade, before the Abortion Act in this country, and they're lying today. Let me just read you a quote from Bernard Nathanson. He was a doctor in the States who helped to lobby for Roe v. Wade. He himself was responsible for some 75,000 abortions, but later in life he changed his mind and became a pro-life advocate. Here's what he said about their campaign in the early days. We fed the public a line of deceit, dishonesty, a fabrication of statistics and figures. We succeeded because the time was right and the news media cooperated. We sensationalized the effects of illegal abortions and fabricated polls which indicated that 85% of the public favoured unrestricted abortion when we knew it was only 5%. We unashamedly lied, and yet our statements were quoted as though they'd been written in law. How many deaths were we talking about when abortion was illegal? He's talking about maternal deaths here. In the National Association for Repeal of Abortion Laws, we generally emphasise the drama of the individual case, not the mass statistics. But when we spoke of the latter, it was always 5,000 to 10,000 a year. I confess that I knew the figures were totally false, but in the morality of our revolution, it was a useful figure, widely accepted, so why go out of our way to correct it with honest statistics? The official figures for maternal deaths due to illegal abortion before it was legalised, the official figures were actually 160. Nathanson estimates they might have been about 500, but they claimed it was 5,000 to 10,000. They multiplied it by 10. They were lying then, and they're lying now. And it's ever so important we understand this, because if we believe this lie, we will be discouraged from pursuing positive change. We'll allow ourselves to believe this slur that's spoken against us, that we don't care about women, and it supports this false idea that abortion is women's health. Nothing could be further from the truth. So let's be clear, this claim doesn't stand up to the evidence, so we should give our wholehearted support to the striking down of Roe v. Wade, and we should be energetically pursuing similar legislative change here in the UK.